He was born in the corner of a backyard, the smallest in a litter meant for fighting. Even as a puppy, people looked at him with fear. It's not because he'd done anything, but because of what they believed he might do. A pit bull, they said, was born to be dangerous. His first home was nothing more than a chain and a cracked bowl. No soft bed, no kind words. Only shouting, harsh training, and silence. When he didn't fight back, they called him weak. But he wasn't weak. He was waiting for love that never came. Years passed. Passed from one yard to another, he was scarred, starved, and forgotten. But deep inside, he held on to something one could beat out of him. Hope. Hope that someone might see beyond his appearance, beyond the fear. That hope kept him alive. Until one rainy morning, the police raided the yard. In the middle of chaos, he didn't bark. He didn't run. He simply stood still as rescuers approached. One knelt and gently offered a blanket. He flinched, but didn't bite at the shelter. They called him Ghost, not because he was scary, but because he moved silently, like a soul that didn't know it still mattered. He didn't bark, he didn't beg. He simply waited. A volunteer named Maria came every day, sitting outside his kennel and reading to him. Books, stories, sometimes just the news. Her voice became the first comfort he'd ever known, and one day he walked to her. Not out of obedience, but trust. Weeks later, a man and his daughter visited. She wore leg braces and moved slowly. Ghost watched as she ignored the noisy puppies and came straight to him. She smiled. He lowered his head gently into her lap. The adoption was instant. They kept his name, not because he was still a ghost, but because he had survived a world most couldn't imagine. In his new home, he had a bed, a name tag, and a little girl who loved him completely. Years passed and Ghost became a therapy dog. Together with the girl, now stronger, they visited hospitals and schools, showing others that healing comes in many forms, that strength doesn't always look like what we expect. Ghost's scars never fully disappeared, but they stopped telling a story of violence and started telling one of survival. He had been feared, abandoned, and forgotten. But he never stopped believing that someone, somewhere, would see him. And one day, someone did.